Following President Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th, 2025, he tasked Elon Musk and the newly established Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, with identifying and eliminating wasteful spending in the US government. Their goal was to curb the nation's growing debt, which had reached $34 trillion due to years of deficit budgets. Elon Musk's first move was to investigate how the government's 400 plus departments and agencies were being funded, and the unanimous response was the treasury system. So naturally, that's where he focused his attention. So true to his philosophy at Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk applied his core principle: where there is waste, follow the money to find who is profiting. In many cases, wasteful expenditures persist because someone benefits from them, and those individuals wouldn't want to see such wastage end, with little incentive to see such inefficiencies corrected. For decades, billions of dollars have flown into Africa under the guise of foreign aid, yet the continent remains plagued by underdevelopment and systemic corruption. Nigeria alone has received over $5 billion in US funding, yet there's little to show for it in healthcare, power, or agriculture. A glaring example is the 2017 Usaid Inspector General audit, which uncovered massive fraud in Nigeria's HIV/AIDS program. Millions of dollars intended for prevention and treatment were lost due to mismanagement and lack of oversight. How does an organization claim to have spent billions on development without any tangible results? How did our former president in Nigeria, ex-President Muhammadu Buhari, suddenly acquire 27 billion to fund his election campaign against Goodluck Jonathan? This pattern of corruption extends far beyond Nigeria, across Africa. USAID has facilitated mismanagement under the pretense of humanitarian efforts. Historically, much of this occurred under the Democratic administration in the US, raising serious questions about the true motive behind such programs. The Democratic Party has long been associated with oppressive policies, slavery, racial segregation, and systemic disenfranchisement. Today, its modern form wields foreign aid as a tool for economic subjugation. African and Americans who continue to support this party unknowingly serves the interests of those who seek to exploit and control Africa under the pretense of assisting Africa. Fortunately, figures like President Donald Trump and Elon Musk have exposed this financial scheme, their stance against unchecked aid and globalist agenda has highlighted the undeniable truth. Foreign aid has not uplifted Africa, rather it has kept us dependent. So it is time for we Africans to break free from the circle of exploitation and take control of our own destiny. So the truth about USAID is clear. It has never been about helping the poor, but about laundering taxpayers' dollars to fund ideological agendas and destabilization efforts. With over $100 billion in COVID relief funds stolen by foreign fraud rings, it is evident that corruption runs deep. Know this: those who protest the loudest against reform are often the very individuals benefiting from these crimes. The question now is, how long will we Africans remain shackled by these deceptive aid programs? I believe the time for change is now. Many of the corruption of African political leaders and affairs through the US aid happened under the Democratic Party in America. The Democratic Party are known to be evil. They were evil in the past, they didn't want slavery to end, and they are still evil even till now, as they are using the US aid to enslave and subjugate Africans under the guise of helping the poor, when in truth they are after absolute power and the wealth of gullible Africans. Democratic Party is the party of slavery, KKK, racist gun control, perpetual racism, fraud, Federal Reserve, inflation, child mutilation, and experimenting and sexualization. How I wish and pray that President Donald Trump should persecute these criminals and disband the party. For too long, African and American Democrats have been used as pawn, enabling the system that keeps us, their fellow black people in Africa, economically dependent. So the revelations by President Donald Trump and Elon Musk should serve as a wake-up call for we Africans. A defining moment that exposes the harsh reality. Know this today. Foreign aid has never been the solution. So it's time to abandon dependency on US aid and take charge of our own future. RIP US aid. Yeah.